I met a guy who said he was a dermatologist. I asked him if he made good money doing it. He said, I scrape by. Good evening, greetings, solicitations, and felicitations. How are you, everyone? It is good to see you, and it is good to be seen by you. And I, of course, am the one and only Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, coming to you live, loud and clear on this, a wonderful Tuesday night. Man, my joke died right out the chute. Nobody laughed at that, and I don't blame you, but you don't have to laugh at the jokes. All that I ask that you do is hit that subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications to find out about when I do all of my live streams, and that way you can come a couple minutes later and avoid the jokes. But anyway, that would be super helpful. That would be super duper helpful. Tonight's show, before I get into what we're doing, tonight's show is brought to you by me, Bill Sylvie, the Dungeon Delver, and you, if you would like to support the show in another way other than subscribing, we have merch. Guys, we have merch. We have great merch designed by the Tracy Lesh. That is right. Tracy, I did the Roper. I did the Mind Flayer for original Dungeons and Dragons, Tracy Lesh. And he has done an absolutely magnificent design, and you can get that from Spring Store on just about anything. Stickers, posters, t-shirts, coasters. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but I did. So anyway, RPG Grandma just got, boo. Can I post a link to miniature paint handle on Thingiverse that folks could benefit from? How about in the Discord, TXG? Because you can't put URLs in the YouTube chat. You spam it all over my social media, brother, and I will kick it around, and I will let lots of people know. Miniature painting handles are awesome, and if you have designed one and put it on Thingiverse, then it should be sung from the rooftops, my friend. Yeah, don't go buy a freaking Games Workshop one. There's plenty out there, and I'm sure TXG's is probably the cream of the crop. And speaking of the cream of the crop, I don't want to toot my horn too much, but I am going to tell you, your handle for miniature painting is Leave It Unpainted. I am going to tell you guys something. There is a piece of software that I have written, and it might be of particular interest to you folks around here, because this piece of software that is only $25, I should point out, is the last word in first edition character creation software. It is for your Windows PC, and a little spoiler alert, just a little bit, a Macintosh version's in the work. Okay, that's all I can say about it, but a Mac version is in the work. Guys, if you need to create one character, many characters for first edition, 1E, buy the book, buy the player's handbook, any legal race class combo, not just create the characters, because yeah, you can go out there and you can blah 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 blah. You can do all that. Roll Tide, swing man. You can do all that. You can do that with pencil and paper. But let me tell you a little something about Crom, Character Record Organization Manager. Crom will allow you to add experience points, allow you to raise characters' entire levels in a single go. Multi-class characters, dual-class characters, create bards, human and half-elven both. Any legal alignment, class, race combination. You're tired of being a goody-goody? You want to change alignment with your character? You can change alignment with your character. Did your character get a big haul of gems, but you got to convert it into cash because you need to go shopping, which it does support, by the way. The program has a built-in players, a handbook, shopping menu. Guess what? You can sell your gems and jewelry. You can get all of that, all of those wonderful, delicious options. Age your character. You didn't like your stats, or maybe your character found one of those tasty Librams and increased an ability. It's right in there. Maybe your character had a party night out that they don't remember, but they got a bunch of pictures on their phone, and the girl in the picture is a succubus. Well, guess what? You can take levels off as well. It auto remembers hit points, folks. So when you lose a level, it takes those hit points off. Percentile strength bonuses for fighters, you know it. Wisdom bonuses for clerics, absolutely. Do high level rangers get druid and magic user spells? You better believe it. All of this is available through Crom. And going to be yours for $25 dues. Reach out to me. You can find me on any social media. My email address is going right down there at the bottom. And pick yourself up a copy of Crom and impress and terrify your dungeon master or your players with your management acumen. No more sticky notes, guys. No more, Bob sent me an email. I know he sent me an email. What? How many XP did we get? Because you can just type it right in. As long as there are no further questions, Gonzalo, absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you for the super, Gonzalo. That is Crom, strong in its mountain. Reach out to me, folks. I can make it yours. And by the way, any future updates, any improvements, any bug fixes, they're yours for free. You're on a lifetime support package for that bad boy. So don't you even fret your pretty little head. Windows 10, I've been told it works just fine under Windows 11. I'm going to start back testing it to see if it's 8187 Vista XP 2000 compatible. There's going to be a basement I hit at some point. But my hope is that we may soon see a Mac version. I'm not promising. I don't want to Osborne affect myself. Right? You can run it through a virtual machine. Windows 3.1, no. The WS32 extensions do not support 64-bit code, and this is 64-bit code. Chemeister, not DOS. It looks like DOS, but it's not DOS. Yeah, I wish it was DOS or 3.1. There is actually a very talented programmer named Matt KC. I may reach out to him and see if his Win32.dll conversion that he did would allow it to run under Windows 95. How funny would that be? But that's way down. That's way down the road. All right, so we are 5x5 right now. I have got a game for you guys tonight. No, Kevin, but it does run under JCL and CA7. It does not. It does not run under JCL or CA7. We have got a heck of a game for you guys tonight. Now maybe you've just stopped by. Maybe you're just swinging by, and you're like, okay, you've sold me on your incredible software and your gorgeous merch, and I've clicked subscribe. What is this game you're playing tonight, guys? We are playing first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and what I mean by we are playing is I want you guys to feel you can ask questions about any aspect of the game that we have going on. I want you to be able to say, hey, what is X? What is go? Why are you guys doing that? You can ask it in the chat. If I don't answer your question, one of the players may answer the question, and if one of them don't, one of the other people in the audience might. Why? Because I have the smartest and best looking audience of all of the 5-night-a-week classic TTRPG live stream shows that you will find on YouTube, and I will kill on that hill. And another thing that is important to mention, guys, this is first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons as it plays out. Let me tell you something. In 20 minutes, everybody at the table could be firing up their copy of Crom to make a new character, and we're starting off on a new adventure because there's been a TPK. We don't pay anyone to be here. We're not actors. We don't do table reads. We don't do script writing sessions. We don't do we don't do story arcs here. We play first edition AD&D, and the dice that you see rolled on this very screen with our dice app, not our dice app, but with the dice app we use, is how the game plays. So, yeah, you missed it, Vinny. You weren't here in the opening few minutes. There was a TPK. There was a TPK. Keep up. Speaking of keeping up, I'm going to stop talking now because my players are eating all the baklava and drinking all the schnapps in the green room. So I'm going to welcome them in. I'm going to bring them in one at a time. And first, I got to do this because this is too weird. Now, last week we had a character death. Kevin's character, Don Drexel, the fighter, the thief magic user, met his end in the arms of an owl bear. As it happens tonight, Thane Kyle is absent, so Kevin is going to be running Thane Kyle's character. Everybody, please put your flippers together for Kevin, who is playing as Kevin.
Hello. Just a warning, anything that happens in this session, it was not me.
It was not you. Okay, not me. I got the reference. Next up, we have a guy who has a magnificent channel here on YouTube. It covers everything, pop culture, a little bit of current events, a whole lot about books, some about science, RPG material, and occasionally he has very handsome and very intelligent guests on. You can find him at Timothy M. Holt, which is a bit of a spoiler. Everybody welcome, please, Tim M. Holt as, of course, Elminar, the magic user. Tim.
And I do apologize because I left Arlen under my name tonight because that was from Gamma World. So I'm going to change that right now to Elminar.
That is right. Tim plays our...
We haven't killed off Elminar yet.
Hey, it's a cross... It's a, cross game type. Yeah.
Gamma World is...
If I can use my double-barreled shotgun and plasma grenades, I'm pretty happy.
Trust me, you guys don't want Gamma World stuff in AD&D. I have seen that section of the book. That TPK comes around the corner at top speed. Hang on, TXG. I've seen you ask all 7 times. And speaking of people with YouTube channels, this next cat is a dude who you should definitely be following. He is, I would dare say, the master Poe of AD&D philosophy, and you can find him at Doom's Words right here on YouTube. Everybody welcome Doomsword Deathmaster as Jurek Donagard, the Paladin.
Yo.
What is up, my friend? How are you?
I'm good. You?
I'm fine. I'm fine, brother. I'm doing real well. By the way, both Tim, as he let slip, and Kevin and Dooms do play on Friday night in our Gamma World game. So if you can't get enough Tim, Kevin, and Doomsword, well, you can tune in on Friday nights and check them out there too. Last and absolutely not least, although you can't get him here on Friday, apparently he has a life and likes to do other things. Our newest addition is none other than Gonzalo Lira's bar tab himself. Everybody, please welcome Gonzalo as Paul the Fighter. Paul, do we have a little fighter music?
No, but I am extremely busy as I am the Kwisatz Haderach, so that I do have an excuse for Fridays.
Walk without rhythm, you won't attract the worm.
It is true.
You know, did you bring a weirding module into AD&D? Just
you know, the weirding modules are just like being able to say power word kill over and over.
Wait a minute, this isn't in the book.
Books.
I
don't
was
need no stinking books.
Yeah, I was more okay with the weirding modules than I was some of Villeneuve's turn, but both film versions have merit, and they both get together on the playground and kick the shit out of the one that Sci-Fi Network put out in 2000. So, but anyway, last week you had stormed the torture chamber of one whom you can only suspect is the black-hearted scientist witch you were warned about by Black Razor before you put an end to him. And in doing so, you were set upon by reanimated owl bears. Sadly, one of your boon companions, brave, fearless Don Drexel, fell, leaning in and lending a hand. His shattered body lies on the floor of the lab, his eyes staring into eternity. Having no time to mourn your friends, you bar the doors and you begin to search this arcane place, this place that has become a sepulcher for your departed comrade. Gentlemen, you are searching the shelves and whatnot, correct?
Yeah,
I'm asking. I'm not talking.
Yes, okay. I believe some are, and I think I was performing like after rites on Don Drexel. I think that's where we left off.
Paul was bracing the door so it couldn't swing open into the room, the door that leads beyond where we currently are.
Understood. Right. Let me do this before TXG has a hissy fit. No, I am going to share out the show Discord real quick. Let me do an invite people, and of course it's going to complain because I am threatening to inadvertently reveal people. So let me invite and copy and paste this here. Let's see. There we go. If you're watching this at some time in the distant future, that Discord link won't work. I'm just letting you know. All right, so there you are. You're searching the chamber. And by the way, I apologize if there is a faint reverb hum. I have a tiny cooling fan blowing on me because it is blastingly hot here in the old Dover's dungeon. All right, so this room, now that you have cleared out all of the various terrible monsters and all, the various odds and ends that you find in this chamber you think could be worth many thousands to an alchemist, but this is all very large, heavy, fragile items, except for what you find in a drawer. There are a pair of artificial claws of a durable metal. There's 3 of them. It looks like they're made to be worn like bracers, and there's 3 claws extending out of each. And this set is probably valuable to the right collector.
Do they look like actual weapons, or are they just decorative?
And to someone well trained, they would likely be useful weapons. All right, so
I don't know who. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to guess they're not permissible by a magic user, so I think.
Yeah, no, unfortunately.
Dooms, that might be. This might be one for you.
I would never use such a base and ignoble weapon.
I think it's obviously something of interest. We should take it with us, but I don't know that any of us can use it. Maybe Don Drexel could have, but
perhaps
we should take. I don't. Is someone carrying? Who's carrying the lion's share of things we find along the way? Like just general things. Is that me? Probably.
Oh, well, friend, that is generally a mix. Paul carries a heavy burden.
Well, unless someone's going to actually try to, I don't think we really have time to look at these things and figure out what they are, and no one wants to use them right now. So I'll take, I'll open my pack for things like that people want to add up to a point. So I toss my pack on the floor and open it and say, you can put them in there.
Yeah, I mean the pair is maybe 30 coins weight in total, so it's not terribly, it's not going to add terribly heavy unless you're already carrying a lot of stuff. But given that your strength is 1893 or something like that,
1897.
1897. Yeah, that's not. You're like a piece of paper. Somebody threw a piece of paper on my back.
Well, that's why I offered.
And what's the deal with the treasure sheet? How are we gonna update that? Just so it stays up to date. You know what I mean? You have access to it?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I haven't. I mean, I do have access to it, but I don't have it open right now.
Right.
I thought that it was just party loot is what I was thinking.
Well, generally speaking,
yeah.
That is the cart loot. Yeah, just take it and put it. Yeah, take it and put it on your character sheet.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Never mind.
3 claws.
There you go.
Not like Santa Claus, like
claw-looking weapons.
Yes. Yes. Well, they're worn like bracers, and there's 3 claws sticking out of each.
Okay, so. Bracers.
Yeah.
3 clawed bracers.
Yes, those are gardening implements.
Yes. They remind you of like the claws that like a vicious type of badger might have.
Badgers?
Is there a non-vicious type of badger?
Badgers.
Yes, English badgers.
Oh, okay, they're the civilized ones.
Yes,
okay.
they're the little creatures that get put on Christmas calendars and are having tea out of a tiny cup made from a strawberry, as opposed to the American ones, which are all from Florida. Even if they're from other parts of the United States, they're from Florida.
Mage, what about these scrolls here? Is there anything that can help Don Drexel?
Well, I'll look at the scrolls and trust the dungeon master to tell me if there's anything on there we can use.
Okay, so looking through them, if you're willing, a lot of this is inscrutable. Like, it's half begun notes with a big X cross through. I will tell you that you do not find any magic scrolls, capital M, capital S. However, if you were willing to, vivisect living beings, some of the information herein might be of interest to you. But you find 3 sheets of parchment. The first one listing various names. The second is a tally sheet. And this tally sheet seems to list not names, but races. Elf, half-elf, halfling, half-orc, human, gnome. Then a location. And the last sheet is a crude map that shows routes leading from somewhere here in the Drakensgrab Hills to deeper yet within the Drakensgrab Hills.
Okay.
So
I think we definitely need to take that with us, along with the other 3 pieces of paper. And I think even as a magic user, I can carry those.
Yes. A map of the Drakensgrab Hills, a list of humanoid races, and what was the other one?
The other one was a list of just various names. Just there's you don't know these names: Miller Joy, Feetla, just on like that. I will tell you guys if you specifically wish to know.
No, I just want to write it down in my notes.
Okay.
You guys are taking notes?
Oh, I mean, I'm not going to remember this.
I wasn't even going to try to interrupt it. It's a wonderful thing.
It's the memes.
We're more organized than normal. Okay, I'm going to take that with us, and then we have to I think try to figure out how to get out of this room, because we made a whole crap ton of noise.
We're badly wounded. I've suffered some grievous wounds.
And I'm just about out of spells. So.
And I thank you for your service. Foltus thanks you for your service.
Well,
what of you, priest? Have you any spells?
Holter is going to check his list of stuff that was passed to him this afternoon. He does have a Cure Light. Yeah, and I guess a Cure Serious Wound.
I'm down.
Can he cast that?
Yes, if he has
he's
CS.
Okay.
Other people might be more hurt than me. I'm down 27 hits. I'm at 16 out of 43.
No, you're way more hurt than me. I would rather take nothing.
Yeah, so he has a Cure Serious Wounds, and it looks like 1 Cure Light Wounds to apply. Spiritual Hammer is also something in apply, but I don't think that'll help you.
I think that's the opposite of what we're looking for here.
So, I mean, what? Let's see what situation's he in as well. He is down 7. So, sounds like Paul is in the worst of it.
Yeah, I think he gets the Cure Serious, right? I mean, at least to start with. And then if he needs the other one, he takes that too.
Cure him.
Okay, we will do so.
Do you know how many dice that does?
I will know in just a second. I'm looking it up.
That does 3 to 17. 2d8 plus 1.
Yep. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yep. I'm gonna. Do you want to roll it, Gonzalo, or do you want me to roll it?
You can go ahead and roll it. You're casting the spell.
2-8 plus 1. Here we go.
2d8 plus 1.
Oh, that's a whole lot. A whole 5.
Well, that's 5 more than he had before.
Yep. So I'm at 21.
You can now buy alcohol.
You may as well give him the other one, right?
The Cure Light?
Yeah, I don't need it.
Okay. It's interesting. He has it listed as D8 HP, which he didn't do for the other, but
Well.
I already knew Cure Light, so I need help there. 6 more points. Wow, the Cure Light was better than Cure Serious.
Yeah, sometimes it'd be that way.
My thanks.
Yeah. I am out of healing.
By the way, for the benefit of both our players and our audience, I resolved the issue with the satellite cameras. The problem was the cheap-ass cables from Amazon, the cheap-ass USB 3 cables.
What?
I know, right? It's just, a brand that is literally called Anope. A-N-O-P-E, Anope. Sounds like Safia Nygaard is giving a review of them. Do these work good with video gear? Nope.
No.
The bad thing with USB 3 is there's 75 standards. So
yeah, exactly. Well,
it's universal-ish.
Yeah. I mean, when I first heard about USB back in '96 or '97, I was over the moon, because I was just glaring at 9-pin and 25-pin and D sub 15 and everything. I was like, your days are numbered. Oh, what a naive young man, 26 or 27-year-old Bill Sylvie was.
You're like, wait a minute. This reminds me of 9-pin serial back in the day.
Yes.
What does this support?
Yes, it does.
Well, just try 14 configs to find out.
Right. Anyway, TXG asked, do I use good hits and bad misses? We do not. I find that there are fantasy TTRPGs that do crit systems exceptionally well. I don't like to use them in AD&D. I find it can slow down the action not inconsiderably. So you've got the paperwork. You've got you've got your I'm guessing you guys rifle your friend's body for any goods.
Yeah, we have no qualms with rifling his body for all the cool stuff.
Well, are we taking his body back with it? Are we leaving now? Are we taking him back for internment or for rites?
We do not have time to return right now, I'm afraid. Unless you think otherwise, Paul.
I just didn't. I mean, whatever you guys have done in the past is fine. I haven't been here for a death yet, so that's why I was asking.
He does have some stuff that we should not leave behind.
Well, I mean,
that's all on the party sheet. We need to.
Yeah, I did
all of that stuff.
Yeah, I dropped all that stuff on the 3rd tab on the Google sheet. So.
And I have that open now, by the way. So.
Yeah, there you go. So anything on the Don Drexel tab is stuff that you could potentially use in order to mitigate the effects of dungeon.
I mean, do we know what all these things are? Has he told people what these things are?
Yeah, he wasn't secretive. He wasn't a secretive thief.
We had him identified, and he was lawful good anyway.
Wow. I mean, there's definitely some interesting things there.
That's what sucks about losing your guy.
I mean, as someone who's going to go charging into battle, things that make my armor class better would be appreciated. Although I don't know, can a fighter wear a cloak of protection, or is there someone here who could use that?
Anyone
can use that. Yeah, anyone can wear a cloak of protection. It does not stack with armor. However, its bonus stacks with armor. So when it comes for saving throws.
Right.
So, as the resident squishy one,
Yeah.
I'd like to,
Yes, absolutely. Do you ever? Can you stack that with the Ring of Protection?
Yes, it stacks very well with Ring of Protection.
Unless you have one already, you should probably take both those.
I do not.
It's +4, -6 versus undead owlbears.
Ring of Protection. What was the other one? A Cloak of
Protection +3.
Yeah, Tim, that cloak is pretty incredible. So basically, you're armor class 10, and that brings you down to armor class 7, and then you stack the ring with it.
Boots of elven kind make you quiet, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Yes, you are 90% not detectable when you're wearing boots of elven kind.
Is that even if you're a heavily mailed warrior?
They anything.
Okay.
Give that to a fighter, man.
I mean, if someone in heavy mail makes a lot of noise, so I don't know, unless we may have a thief that could benefit from it later.
Well,
but
we had one, but
yes.
Yeah, we can swap that stuff around later. The question is, I'm assuming, right, that anything that John takes is like when Gonzalo gets a new character, that stuff's all released, right? Because he was a henchman and whatnot.
I mean that's up to you guys.
I don't care however you guys want to handle that stuff. I'm not invested in. I mean, obviously, I want to have somebody who's effective in combat and good stats and all that. But I'm not married to items as the be all end all of the game. I mean, but I do like them. I mean,
yeah. No, they're very helpful. I just don't want the former henchmen to be taken away with all of those items, and it just be like, well, John decided to move on. Gonzalo roll up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We do have a question. Dying breeds, the races, classes of the party. Kevin is currently running a cleric for a player who isn't here. Who's he's human? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, of course he'd be human. Duh.
He says half elf on the sheet though. Just
yeah, it shouldn't be. So we have a human cleric, we have a human magic user, we have a pair of human fighters, by which I mean they seek out humans to fight. Basically, it's the all human party right now. They lost their Spock.
Who could benefit the most from these are all really thiefy things, which makes sense. But there's the what is a periapt exactly?
It's a necklace.
Necklace, okay.
Yeah, so you get +2 against poison.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think if the paladin were to take anything from this, he would take that.
Okay. I like that scimitar, but Paul is not. He doesn't have a weapon proficiency in scimitar, but he could get one, I guess.
I'm betting Paul doesn't have all the weapon proficiencies allotted that he's supposed to.
I have 5 listed: bastard sword,
really?
longsword, battle axe, spadum, and heavy crossbow.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. When I built Paul, he was absolutely by the book.
But although my non-proficiency penalty is only -2.
Yeah.
It has some abilities with it. I don't know that I might toss aside if I'm actually carrying everything that I have. I have a lot of things on. I have a battle axe. I have all this stuff on me.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can carry that. Is there somebody else who would benefit from that? Scimitar +2 scimitar, detect good or evil, 10-foot radius.
You have earned it, Paul. Unfortunately, our fallen companion will not need it where he is gone. For he has the sword of righteousness.
I mean, I'll go ahead and put that on my sheet then. It has some things it can do that aren't necessarily combat related. Much appreciated.
All right.
Well, fortunately, you're lawful good.
So is the sword.
Oh, there you go.
I'm sorry. You said I'm lawful good? I'm neutral good,
I
actually.
thought so.
He-
Oh,
He's neutral. He's neutral good, but the sword doesn't show him any enmity.
Paul, we got along for so long.
What
neutral happened to you?
Neutral good is the goodest good.
You used to be so cool, Paul. I don't know what happened.
What did I do?
Lord, it's a joke.
All right. So the Ring of Protection, I don't remember what plus that was. Is that noted?
+1.
Yes.
So yeah, if Tim I'm not saying you guys have to do this, but for the purposes of explaining the stack, Tim, if you took that, your overall armor class would become a 6, assuming you don't get any bonus from dexterity or anything. So you actually become considerably harder to hit than you were.
And that's true, but also we've got the Ring of Shooting Stars there. So
yes.
You know, I mean, I guess you could take 3 rings, you know, but
well,
you can only
there's
wear
only
2, so we'd be better off selling 1 if we get to that point.
Well, there's only one ring, right? It's the Ring of Protection and the Cloak of Protection.
There's a gold ring from Stockade, lower level web corpse, unidentified.
Yeah, that's enough.
Should I delete this off the sheet since I put it on my character sheet, the scimitar?
Yes.
I would remove it so it doesn't get duped.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna write down the Ring of Shooting Stars, and we can figure it out later.
Yeah, I mean, if you can wear both, actually, then go for it.
Yeah, you can stack up to 2 rings, although you can't, you can wear a Ring of Regeneration and a Ring of Fire Resistance, but wearing 2 rings of regeneration, just only one will work, or only one Ring of Fire Resistance. Or, like, if you have a Ring of Protection +3 and a Ring of Protection +1, only the Ring of Protection +3 is going to work.
So
okay, so I'm an AC 6. I'm a far less squishy magic user than I was just a day ago. Yay!
There's something else that Elminar should be very interested in. So, Don Drexel has a spellbook set. He also has Marius's spellbook set. So there are 2 sets of magic users, quote, arcane spellbooks in this that you might be interested in.
Oh, I'm definitely interested, and we just have to, at some point, just send me a note with what's in there if you know.
Yeah, no problems.
Yeah, Tim just did the AD&D equivalent of finding an incredible DVD set at an estate sale. All of these for just a couple of bucks? Let me bring my car around.
Let me go get the bigger car. I'll be back.
Exactly. Criterion box sets, Japanese imports.
And there's an Amiga with a video toaster. What? I'll take that piece of garbage off of you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, an old. You think that's a Macintosh, huh? Yeah, I'll take that. And then you find out that the Varda clock battery has eaten a quarter-sized hole through everything.
Robert Phillips has a question that I was going to ask.
Can you burn spells directly out of the spell books? There's an option to do that in Unearthed Arcana, but I don't use it.
I can tell you that in very dire situations that could save your bacon, but of course it's got diminishing returns, literally. So
yes, because every time you do it, there is a chance that it can obliterate the spell book that you're casting from.
Yeah, and if you're going to do that, then you have to keep track of how many pages the spells are, and then is the backside of the page also, it's a mess. Yeah. It's fun.
It tends to be a bit like Critical Hits in that it can slow the game down. Yeah. And I say that not just from being a grouser who read the book and said, oh, I don't like that, but I've actually used it in play in the past.
Can we ban Fighter Steve out of the chat there?
No, Fighter Steve is a welcome and valued member of the Delver's Dungeon family, and I will not brook any maltreatment of my audience by my players.
Fighter Steve, don't be mean to us. We're nice, I promise.
It's pretty cool, I guess.
Fighter Steve is the guy.
With him.
Fighter Steve is the guy who reminds the teacher when you're on your way out on Friday that he forgot to give you guys a pop quiz.
I'm nice. I bring all my Marine friends crayons every time I see them.
They never leave hungry.
Exactly.
I mean, beyond getting some healing going and some last rites, we've probably spent, half an hour, 45 minutes, I would guess, so far doing this. Are we going to hole up here? There's only two ways. Okay.
I mean, that's just my thought.
Forward.
Well, all right.
At least until we get an idea of what lay before us. I'm not satisfied in this room being the termination of our journey.
All right. We'll need to be careful going forward.
Indeed.
I'll check the door, I guess. Do we have anyone that has any thief skills?
No.
Okay.
If you're asking about checking for traps, anyone can find traps.
No, not really. I was more interested in listening. I mean, anyone can listen to the door too.
There's always a chance you might hear something. If you want to press your ear against it.
Yeah, I'm going to listen.
Okay. Nothing but the sound of ear seekers.
Mm-hmm.
No. You don't hear anything. You hear kind of a crunching sound, and then a high pitched noise, and then a pop, and then nothing.
Well, I am prepared to go through. Is everyone else ready to go?
I am.
All right. I'll lead the way, and I will open the door and take a look into the room before I just charge in.
Since we have multiple cameras, give me just a second, audience and players, to adjust to them. One moment, please.
Be right back.
What do you say? Be right back?
Yep, he took his headset off.
And this is when we tell Bill jokes.
I don't have any of those yet.
We just make stuff up. It doesn't have to be true.
Next time we fight owlbears, I'm going to see if looking at them and farting in their direction works, because you never know.
Give it a shot. I'll be right behind you.
I've tried disbelieving it never works. It doesn't work in D&D and it doesn't work in Gamma World, so...
I mean, occasionally. We could also talk about just general D&D stuff. I had a nice evil idea as I was working on some just kind of stuff set in Greyhawk. I was thinking you guys know what, I think it's in the, not Monster Manual 2, I think it's in Fiend Folio, the memory moss. You know what that is?
Yes.
So I was thinking, what would a fighter who thought he might have to fight a lot of magic users in this world, what if he could subjugate or otherwise have some of that with him as a method of dealing with troublesome spellcasters? I'm sure that will never come up in anything I run.
Well, if you're the DM, it always comes up, right?
Yeah. All right.
Was you?
I normally try to mute when I do that, so I apologize. But...
All right, gentlemen, thank you for your patience. Yes, opening the door and looking out into the chamber, you have in front of you looking out, you have quite a few doors. You have 2 doors on the right and an opening on the far end and a door in the middle on the left. That is the southern wall, you suspect.
So 3 doors and an archway. We can't see past the archway, or
From having just opened the door where you are, no,
Okay.
you can't. You're just you're looking out into this gallery.
Is it lit?
There's a few guttering torches in sconces along the walls. Yes.
I will start heading slowly into the room, looking for anything hanging or tripwires or anything as I go. I've seen the thief do this a bunch of times. I'm sure I can do it just as well. And I'm gonna go ahead.
No, I was gonna make a joke. Go ahead.
I'm gonna slowly head down and not mess with any of the doors and approach the archway and at least kind of take up a position at the archway so we can kind of seal off this area if possible.
Okay. I will let you do that only if you say the word archway again.
Archway.
Archway. Ixnay on the archway. Okay, so on your immediate left, when you step out, there is a niche, but there is nothing in it. Moving down the hall, you see that there are, in fact, from your position, you can see 3 doors on the right. 3 doors on the right. And that is basically your layout. You have 3 doors on the right or the northern wall, 1 door, and then the passage straight south on the southern wall.
Is there a niche? Am I seeing a niche on the other end of on the left?
Yes. That is, it is immediately outside the door. If you turn left outside the door, there is a 10 by 10 niche, but there are just some broken furniture and dust.
No, I meant at the far end of the room on the left.
At the far end of the room.
Yes.
That is the turn to the south.
Oh,
yeah, that is the turn to the south. And let's see, you see that, but does anything see you? Let's find out.
No. That's crazy.
Well,
that's crazy talk.
Not when Bill's around. It's not.
No, you are not espied by anything, and you do not espy anything.
So just
Mobius, hello.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Just to clarify, the far end is an opening that continues on, but on the left of the far end, it turns left and goes down another hallway.
Let you know what? Do I have my pointer over here? I do not. Let me grab my pointer real quick, just a moment, and I will walk you through what you're seeing.
I'm not doing theater of the mind very well.
Now he's saying pointer. Let's see what he really means.
I don't know if I like the thought of it. that could get really gross really fast.
This is the only time I've always hated laser pointers, but this is one time where I'm like, you know what, that would actually be useful here.
It all depends on the laser pointer you're using. Sometimes they're more interesting than others.
I would love to use a laser pointer, but they don't show up on camera. I don't have one that's powerful enough. If only I had a friend who was a physicist who could hook me up.
I could, but your nice little
my Dwarven Forge would have holes in it. All right, guys, here's the room.
We can make it show up, but
once. Okay, so on the southern wall, you have a door, and you have a door. On the northern wall, you have a 10 by 10 niche. You have a door that I have just conveniently knocked over, and you have a passage that extends due south.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate the clarification. So that passage that extends due south, that corner there is where I'm trying to make my way into, and then if other people want to check other doors or things in the room, they can do that. But I'm just trying to be strategic here.
Okay. Let me go ahead. First of all, let me make some adjustments, and second of all, I will tell you what you see. Hang on just a moment.
I like that in a GM. Telling me what I see is a very highly sought after thing in a GM.
So I used to work on a Fighter Steve. I used to work on for a defense contractor. We'll just leave it at that. And there was a guy whose entire job in life was to design warheads. He had a PhD in something, I forget what. His nickname was Dr. Kaboom. He used to tell me that there was absolutely no problem on the face of the planet you couldn't solve with the proper application of high explosive.
Yeah, connects all maths out. How much energy does a 2-foot tungsten rod and 6 inches in diameter hitting the ground from space impact with?
Doesn't matter. We can send it back into space with enough high explosive in the right space.
I feel like Bill is hiding something. He's doing sneaky things.
I was gonna say I feel strangely
taking
uncomfortable.
Too much time.
Yeah, and I played a bunch of these, hundreds, and I feel kind of uncomfortable with what's transpiring right now.
Because I don't have a lot of spells left, and a ring of shooting stars is useless indoors. So
it is
not useless.
Yeah, it has a limited number of things that work inside.
Oh, okay.
So it's not useless. It is far less powerful. I'll drop that on your. I'll drop it in the channel so you know what it does.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you very much for your patience. So let us see here. Let's go to tripod cam. Gonzalo Paul looking around the corner. Slide myself down there. Let me see if I can give you a slightly better view over here. So you're looking down a hallway that runs some distance into the dark. The guttering torches not providing very much light. They are few and far between. However, looking down that hallway, on your immediate right, there is a door. It looks like about 40 feet past that, there is another door on your right. So those would be doors on the western wall. And beyond that, it's too dim to see.
Okay. I'm going to let everybody know what I see. Just for clarification, I'm not just standing in the middle of I'm just kind of looking around with my head. I'm not standing in the middle of the hallway like that.
No, I understand. And to the rest of the party, Tim, Dooms, Kevin, I moved your miniatures out of the room. This does not have to be your stance. You do not even have to be out of the room. I just assumed you guys were following Paul tactically, but if you're not, that's fine.
We are absolutely
my intent was to follow him tactically, but also sweep across those doors on my right. The three of them on the south wall.
The north wall, you mean?
The north wall, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I need to step away for 1 second. I'll be right back.
Sure thing.
Right on. Just to walk past them, basically.
Okay.
I don't think we're in a position where we want to open any of these right now.
Okay. Alrighty, so having moved on again, you are close up to Paul. Paul reports back what I have said.
Well, then we shall make our way up the hallway, Paul.
Up the hallway, as in you are going to head down that southern corridor
South.
that he's looking down? Okay.
Indeed. To the first door on the right.
Okay.
Quiet as she goes.
So you're moving along. By the way, Engine Joe, if you're using your USB camera with a cable, try plugging it directly in. If you are plugging it directly in, try a different USB port. That's my advice. I pulled my hair out for 2 weeks with the cameras over here. So trust me, I feel you. All right. So the first door on the right is locked. You try the handle. There's a fiendishly complex lock set in the door face.
Okay. At this point, do we see further down the hall?
You've moved 10 feet down, so that affords you a little bit more of a view to the south, but not much more. So you're still just seeing that second door on the right, some distance down.
You're right on. Well,
I'm back.
I assume you're right on. So we made it up about 10 feet. We can continue down this hall. We haven't seen anything extra.
No.
Me and you are towards the front. I don't think there's a 10-foot pole.
Gotcha.
What do you want to do, Paul?
So we've gone down the hallway. My mini is looking down, is what you're saying.
You've just moved to the first door on the right, which is just here.
Gotcha.
And it's locked.
Yes.
I mean, we know nothing's going to come through that. Maybe we should check the other doors and just see what we can get that's open, or identify what we can without making too much noise.
Agreed. We must go into the heart of evil, and we must strike from outward.
Okay. Let me go over there and expose a little bit more of the dungeon hall. Pardon me, gentlemen.
I'm so glad he specified the dungeon hall after saying expose.
That means two things. Or three, depending on which.
If one of them is listening to the Hall of the Mountain King by Sabotage, I will do so now.
By who?
Sabotage.
I'm not sure I know who that is. Is that a metal band?
Yeah. They call them Sabotage. So I'm sure you might have heard of that. But
I have
Insider...
not.
Oh, you haven't heard of Sabotage?
Not a band called a band called Sabotage.
Maybe. Yes, sir. Maybe that's just a Florida thing, because they were out of Bay Area. So in Florida, Bay Area comprises like St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Largo, Seminole, Tampa Bay.
Florida always struck me as a metal state, even though I'm not a metal guy. But that's how I kind of saw it.
I was
in the 80s. I apologize, Tim. In the 80s, there was a real, even now, there's a strong prog metal coming out of it. That was going on several years ago, but a little more death metal and stuff. Florida's a metal state. Yes, sir.
I was at the coffee shop attached to one of the local mega churches, because it's across the street from my kid's school one day. And a guy came in wearing a 5-finger death punch t-shirt. I'm like, oh, this is too cool. For so many reasons.
Number one is death to false metal, Tim.
Obviously, if I think that's one of the things that Stranger Things got right with the metal connection to D&D. A lot of dudes I knew back in the day played D&D were metalhead guys. So yeah, it's a good. Every group has one metal guy. At least.
Indeed.
All right. So looking down the hall, on the right, let me see if I can get a good camera shot of that. That is a little distance, although it is a nice shot. Table cam. Table cam's the trench view. Let's see. So further down the hallway, here on the right, you see another door. There is, however, also a door a little further down on the left-hand side.
I suggest we continue down the hall, checking the doors as we go. You check the ones on your side, I'll check the ones on my side, and we'll stop at each one as we go. And if we can't open it, if it's locked, we can't get it open, we just continue on down.
Okay.
Agreed.
Second door on the right is locked. Third door, the first one on the left that you see, is not locked. You turn the handle and it turns freely. Let me, once again, camera setup. Just a moment.
I could see Paul Schaefer doing the moving of the minis here. Like this or like this?
All right. It doesn't really matter because this is where we just decide to go back to town, right?
I like some southern stuff. I guess I don't know if Florida really is. I'm not from Florida. Do people in Florida consider themselves part of the South?
Oh,
They're kind of their own thing, aren't they?
Kinda, but I'm a native. I mean, I've been all over the place and whatnot.
Sure.
But what's really interesting, a couple of things to me over the years, is that Floridians, native Floridians, don't have an accent. I mean, unless you're hearing an accent from me, which is possible. But everywhere I go, they tell me, or everywhere I used to go, they would tell me, "Hey, where are you from?" And I would say, "Like, you sound like you're from Houston." It was always a trip, right? And the other thing, we consider ourselves deep south.
Gotcha.
At least most of us,
Okay, guys. Sorry for the delay there. Let's go over. What is? That should not be pointing there. Let me fix that.
That's what she said.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's right. I stole it from you. I took it right out of your mouth.
That's what she said.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I've got to get a better camera position
From
on that.
New
Hold on, guys.
York. Oh my God. Nobody from New York.
I mean, there's some. The reason I asked is because I was a big fan of sort of like the Paisley Underground kind of bands from the Southeast in the 80s, like REM and Salem 66, Let's Active, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, see, I'm from Texas. We still have this little band from here called ZZ Top that you might have heard of.
I have, although Butthole Surfers would be the band that I'm a huge fan of.
Actually, when I was in high school, one of my teachers, her sister was in the Butthole Surfers. And
really?
yeah, she tried to not let that secret out, but people figured it out. And
impossible to hide.
Now ZZ Top I really like, but Stevie Ray. I mean,
there's a lot of bands
that's
from
what
Texas.
Texas has. Texas has Pantera as well, Dime specifically, but Stevie Ray.
All right, got an up close mode here.
Okay, finally got a good camera angle. All right, so you have two things of note. You have an opening on the right. Here, yes. Okay, you have an opening on the right that slopes in this direction, and You have this door, which appears to be unlocked, and the tunnel continues to the south. And you can see, of course, there's a second door on your immediate right.
We definitely should go to the one on the right because that's where the dungeon master's room is.
Yes, but you see, I have a carpet of flying, so I can just zip right over
Oh,
here.
damn it! I should have kept my mouth shut.
Yeah, that'll teach you.
I look at the paladin. I just sort of then look at the door handle near it and like shrug.
It's not your door.
That is 10 internet points to Dying Breed for Pantera. I like their soup and sandwich lunch deal. Yeah,
Nice.
that's that Frontera chicken, man. A bowl of the vegetarian chili, fix you up nice on a winter day.
Vegetarian chili. Oh.
I consider it vegetable soup. You know, it's a spicy vegetable soup. I shouldn't have said chili regarding that stuff with a Texan in the chat.
I'm actually from Ohio, and chili takes on a whole different meaning there. But I've lived here longer than I've lived anywhere else. So,
I'm sorry. What were you saying, Dooms?
Do you like crepes? Just say I like crepes.
I like crepes.
Sweet.
What about fish sticks?
oh God.
Mrs. Paul's fish sticks does yours. All right. Kabuki Kid, hey, haven't seen you in a long time. Slow night at the concert hall. And Reverend Horton Heat, yes, it's martini time. It's martini time. All right. So next up, door on your left, unlocked. Where will you guys go through that one? You continuing on? What will you do?
I think we should at least check any open doors. I can do it if you want.
Indeed. We didn't check the ones behind us, however.
Oh, we didn't? I thought we knew they were locked.
Not the ones in the main chamber.
Oh, okay.
You guys didn't touch the ones in the gallery, but hey,
We
here
can
you
open
are
this
now.
one, or we can move along. Either way.
Well, if we're trying to make time, if we've already set a precedent of not really checking these doors, then
Exactly.
I think we should keep moving wherever we don't have to open doors.
I agree.
So it's either straight or down this hallway here.
Straight at the heart of evil, my friend.
Straight? Okay.
Okay, so you pass the sloping opening that is on your right that dominates the middle right of the camera shot. That is here. That opening goes down about 20 feet and terminates in a door.
I mean, we'll continue on the way we're going, and then we'll come back to this if we have to. I guess either way,
Right.
you're going to have to move figures. So sorry, we're really making you.
Don't worry about it. This stuff is here. It's for fun. It's to be used. Let me go out there. I'm getting my burpees in. Is what I'm doing. It's like when I step off camera, I just do like three quick burpees. So I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Get some shrimp rolls in this time.
I actually had egg rolls and some General Tso's for lunch today. Very good stuff. Be right back.
Oh man, no jujitsu for Mr. Bill, I guess.
Oh no!
You know, nobody got that, by the way.
I got it. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's right. At least one person got it.
Hey, Mr. Bill. So many good back when Saturday Night Live was good.
Which means the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't know. Weekend
Pretty
Update's
much.
getting funny again. I mean,
Is it?
yeah.
Norm Macdonald? I doubt it.
Yeah.
No, it's getting. They've got their moments again. And some of the
who's doing
things they've
it?
been doing, where they're like trying to, they do the forming of the country sketch, are pretty funny.
Who's doing them? Which comedians are doing those?
Oh, I'd have to look, a number of them, but
They're slipping in and out. Okay.
The forming of the country ones, they have like George Washington standing up giving a speech like, "We're going to start a new country. We're going to have weight systems. We're going to have strange numbering things. 1 of something is 1, 2 is 2, 10 is 10, 12 is 12. No, we're going to call it a dozen." Why? Nobody knows.
It seems reasonable, though. I mean, if you think about it.
I just remember being blown away by a number of musical performances. Just seeing Devo as a kid and Bowie, back when they had like
in living color when they were on. Oh man, sorry. Did
you just say in living color in the same breath as Bowie and Devo?
Yes, I did. I can't believe you put Devo and Bowie in the same sentence.
No,
yes.
They're definitely in the same sentence.
They're in the same sentence.
I'd put Devo in front of Bowie. Bowie's behind Devo.
I put
okay.
Bowie.
Can we all agree on Prince?
No, because I like Prince. Actually, he did the best Super Bowl halftime show that was ever done. The rain, him in the rain. Anybody else see that? Look up
but
2000.
But they owed us after the Janet Jackson thing. And
You're lip syncing from now on. Stay on the program.
The NFL.
I would say Living Color was a good technical band. I mean, there's
one of the best. They're one of the top 10 guitar players of all time. I mean,
Vernon Reid was good. He was better.
Yes. As a songwriter, I found that stuff boring. But there are different ways to be good at things. Like Peter Buck from REM writes amazing, sounding songs, but he's not anywhere in the same league as that guy technically.
Yeah, that's true.
It always blew my mind that Bill Rieflin, who was literally the sound of the nastiest, sharpest, most tetanus-infected industrial music from the Chicago scene, ended his career as the drummer for REM. I just think that's neat.
Which band was that? Can you not say them on the air?
One of the bands I can't say on the air. Revco. We'll say Revco, but also Ministry, and I think he did some drumming just for Chris Connolly by himself and so on. But anyway, so looking down the hallway, we are on my lovely Cam 3 here. So that is the looking down the hallway view. Let's see if we can get a slightly more useful here with table cam. Oh, yeah, table cam's real good because you are directly next to the next door that is on your right. That is unlocked, I should point out. Now, you can see the terrain does end right here. At that point, the hallway becomes more of a natural tunnel. It is less of a worked stone with bricks and supports and so on and etc. As it does look like it was tunneled right out of the earth. And you can see that it goes about 20 meters or 30 meters, after which it seems to curve to the right, that is to the west and south a little bit. But not meters, damn it, feet. But 20 feet down on the left, there is an opening in the tunnel wall, just so you're aware. So you have an open door on your left, and then at the end of the worked stone, you have a natural tunnel that extends 30 feet, and at the 20-foot mark, there is an opening on the left.
I mean, do we want to check out the tunnel area? And just kind of get this area mapped out, maybe? Can be what we're eventually doing here. At this point, I'm not sure there is a right way other than making as little noise and keeping moving. this door to our left is open, but we haven't been opening doors, so we shouldn't break that now. I feel we should continue just kind of mapping out where we can and then determining where to go.
Oh, your dungeon master can tell you guys where to go. And I can facilitate it actually too. Anyway,
what do you guys think?
I think we should open a door.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I'll open this door on the left. Then I'll move up and be defensively prepared and open the door.
I'll back him.
Okay. Guess what I have to do, guys? Pardon me.
Move stuff.
It's all good though because it's Dwarven 4G goodness.
All the music talk that we've been having is the same stuff that always gets me in trouble with the metal guys. They always talk about the technical proficiency, and I'm always off about the weirdness and the composition.
I like. I love metal. I love blues. I love jazz. I love funk. There's all kinds of things I get into, and I even like classical piano. The one thing in my life I can't stand is country music. So outside of that, I'm pretty set just about anywhere.
Have you not heard of rap, sir?
Well, that too, but yeah, I got in trouble when I was a teenager for bringing home NWA's first album. My mother was,
and that was actually good.
That was good compared to
yeah. My mother didn't agree with that.
My mom hated the punk stuff I brought home, but I didn't care because it was my stuff.
But see, I had a dad who used to schedule his business trips so he'd wind up in towns at the same time as Pink Floyd. So I grew up with a strange house.
Let's find out, huh? They're going to Cincinnati next week, so what can I do in Cincinnati?
Exactly.
Let's deliver 60,000 pounds of cement. Okay. Exactly. Driving up to Cincinnati now. Yeah. Chaos is what that sounds like.
It was weird, too, because he was a software engineer and he'd somehow figure out how to wind up in some of these towns. But he was there.
First album I ever bought was Rock and Roll Over by Kiss. That was the first album I owned. And actually, my grandmother bought it for me for my birthday.
First one I ever bought was Pac-Man Fever. On LP.
Yeah, get it.
Yes, I'm old. I'm okay with it.
I think the first physical phono album I bought was Devo. So.
Wow.
So this room you guys are in now, and by the way, regarding Rage Against the Machine, there is nothing more I love than being preached at by a guy who has a craft services writer for his concerts that costs more than my house is worth. Yes, tell me how you're going to rise up and support the proletariat, Mr. De La Rocha. There, I'm done.
Rage with
but
the
Bill, how do you really
machine.
feel? I think you're rolling back.
Anyway, so moving right along, you open into a 30 by 30 room, and let me describe what you see. Look in this room. What do you see? The next adventure encounter B. I don't know. All right. This room is filled with a blue haze and the pungent odor of incense. The walls are covered with black drapes, and a brazier with hot coals stands in the center of the room. There is an ornate chair before the brazier, a cot with furs thrown across it, and two low tables covered with herbs and paraphernalia are also in this room. It is currently unoccupied.
I will step in carefully and
Okay.
start. I'm going to stand just inside the door and wave everybody else in.
Hold on, step in.
Okay.
He's going to check the tables.
I said don't stand there. Come in. If you get that, then you have great taste in video games. Okay. All right. So beside the ornate chair, there is a box of white powdered incense. You're getting a very strong odor of like catnip mixed with other herbs, but it's in powder form. Let's see. All right. There are various items. There are like chicken legs. There's a bowl of, it looks like maybe desiccated small animal organs sitting on one of the tables. There's a very clearly broken into multiple shards crystal ball lying on one of the tables.
Are there any holy symbols or any religious iconography here?
Yes, there is a statue of a particularly malevolent looking hobgoblin being with 4 breasts and other abnormalities. It's kind of crudely made. It's from bronze. It's sitting on one of the tables, but you can clearly make out that one of its feet is meant to be crushing rather exaggerated miniature sculpted elves and humans and dwarves beneath its feet. It's about 10 inches tall. It is thoroughly obscene looking.
So, I mean, are we done checking this out, or do we want to move on?
I think we can move on.
Okay.
And I should point out there is a door in the north end of this room. If that is not showing up,
it is. Yes, I just now
yes.
saw it.
There we go.
It's a jar.
No, it is. It is not. It is thoroughly closed.
Okay.
But it is there.
Well, why don't we check that out while we've got this room open? Let's check that out real quick.
Yep. Sounds great.
And I'll move up to the door and listen. If I don't hear anything, I'm opening it.
All right, let's see. Gonzalo, go ahead and roll a 20-sided die for me, would you?
Okay.
That unfortunately landed behind my
18.
18. Okay. Yeah, you don't hear anything.
Okay. And
and it is unlocked.
I open the door, prepared for battle.
All right, go ahead and give me a D6 roll.
Alrighty. Oof.
And what'd you get?
1.
A 1.
6.
A 6. Okay. Yeah. So the door shudders, but it doesn't open.
Okay. Wait, isn't 1 good for opening doors?
It is.
Did you roll a 1 or a 6?
No, I rolled a 1. I was joking when I said 6. I thought it was the surprise roll.
Yeah, it hid under the Dungeon Delver's flag. So.
Yes. Okay. All right. So yes, you do force it open, and let me go over to the next and tell you what you see.
Joking about the results of dice rolls.
That's okay, especially when you don't know what they are.
Right.
Oh, I rolled a 6, Bill. Really, I did. Well, the door doesn't open. Shit! I lied about the wrong thing. Okay. And so I will tell you first, and then I will show you. This room is a kitchen with several tables and a chopping block in the room. On the south side, or the southeast side, there is a cooking fireplace, and 2 fresh carcasses are hung on hooks to the left of it. The room is occupied by a human cook and 2 goblin assistants working over a huge pot of stew. The cook is incredibly ugly and has a horrid snaggletooth smirk on his face. Let me show you guys what you are seeing.
Yeah, I'm not turning my camera on for this.
So he said a human and 2 goblins, right?
Yep. Have to assume he's a slaver.
That would be my guess. Yes.
He could be a slave, I guess.
Well, not going to be for long if he's a slaver.
So, am I the only one that saw the David Bowie with Klaus Nomi Saturday Night Live thing where he had the wooden like Russian doll thing he was wearing?
I'm sure I've seen it at some point. I've gone back and watched so many of them over the years.
That was the only way to find out about weird music and stuff. You know, where I lived as a kid, it wasn't going to get played on the radio.
Okay, guys, here we go. All right. Oh, I actually got a really good shot there. Okay. So when you go in this room, the cook looks up from the bubbling cauldron and he points the ladle at you, just slap, just soup splatters out on the floor and says, you mercenary, you mercenaries think you can show up for mealtime anytime you want to. Well, mealtime is over and you're not going to eat. And if you report me to the bosses for not getting fed, I will call you a liar.
You'll fill a bowl or I'll have your head.
Okay, let's not get hasty now. He
does that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
He yells something in Goblish, and the two goblins immediately ladle up 4 bowls, and with his big meaty hands holding on to the broad plates that the trenchers are on. He puts in each of your hands. There you go. No need to get hasty.
Well, I had planned on, as soon as they turned their attention away from us, I guess I can't really stab them in the back, being neutral good. So, when he hands me the bowl of soup, I raise it as if I'm gonna, with one hand, as if I'm gonna drink out of it, and I'm gonna throw it in one of the goblins' face.
Okay, so that's what you're doing. Kevin, what is the cleric doing?
Well, he's going to step behind and say, you should you should at least attempt to be peaceful. We're not here specifically to harm you. And then I'm going to stand behind Paul
from behind me.
Yeah, and the rest of the party. I guess Tim, I'm not hiding behind Tim, but yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. So, Tim, what is Elminar doing? You have had a plate of food. we can use that in the broadest sense of the term because it's not construction material or a weapon handed to you. What is Elminar doing?
I'm just gonna kind of eat and see what happens here.
Okay. And Durek, you have likewise been served.
Am I in melee range with this guy? The big one?
Well, the like one of the goblins like literally just ran over and like handed you a plate and then moved on to Elminar and gave him a plate, and so they're kind of all they move back and go back to stirring the big stew pot.
Kill him!
I'll toss it on the floor.
Okay. Let the stew pot hit the floor. There, it's in keeping with tonight's musical themes we've been going for.
Don't eat that stuff.
All right. So, Elminar, you're it does not taste good. What is Elminar's constitution, by the way?
Oh, great.
This
Hang on a
really
minute.
friendly person in the dungeon gives you some food. Roll save and throw versus poison.
11.
11. Roll a d20, Tim. Dying breed says bubonic stew.
What did I do, man?
Diarrhea.
I've been good.
I know.
13.
13. It's good old Dr. Delver's Thunderbolts. you hork some of it down and you immediately wish you haven't. There is an audible sound from inside Elminar. So you're throwing the plate on the floor. Gonzalo, you are drawing your weapon to attack. Do you surprise them? Do you guys know why they say A in Canadian slang all the time? Look at how the country's name is spelled. Canada. Okay, let's roll initiative, or let's roll for surprise. And I will get that. Hang on, just
Tim, were you surprised that was disgusting?
Nothing surprises me anymore.
Poor Tim's like Ralph from The Simpsons. It tastes like burning.
Yeah, it tastes like burning.
All right, so let's see. Yeah, they're a little surprised that you're throwing their food down. Boy, what is the meaning of this? It is delicious. But he, despite getting his dialogue rattled off, he is surprised. So what are you doing, Gonzalo?
Well, I was heading for one of the. I mean, who's closest to me?
Look, the cook is closest.
The cook is closest to him. Okay, I'm letting him have it. He's working. He's either a slaver or he's he's not. I mean, does he have manacles or anything on?
No.
Okay.
No.
Stab him.
I'm slaying.
Just kill him.
Tim's like, damn!
Sometimes you tip the cook staff, sometimes you kill the cook
Well, that was
staff.
not a
It's
good
just
roll.
the way it goes.
All right. I should see how many segments he is actually surprised for. So, one segment you caught him unawares. So yeah, that comes down. The goblins pick up weapons that are effectively or pick up kitchen implements that are effectively gonna be weapons, and this guy goes to maneuver like he's jumping behind the stew pot. So Dirk, you just threw your plate down. Tim Elminar is deeply regretting that. Tim, you've seen Conan the Barbarian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You know the soup.
Yeah.
The soup in the kitchen. Yeah. All right.
I was in the army too. I can imagine bad food.
So yeah, it's worse than the Conan soup.
It's a vomlet, dude.
It's just a boiling crock of vomlet. Okay, so yes, Robert Phillips, exactly. All right, so yeah, he looks like he's trying to maneuver around the room. The goblins look like they're going to be moving forward. Dooms, what is your play here?
Move it on the big one and attack him.
Okay. And Kevin, are you no blasters?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, for one round at least, I'm gonna pretend that they haven't acted violently.
Okay.
With the hope to recover.
Now, Tim Elminar is in a lot of gastric distress, but you can still act in this round. What do you wish to do?
I am going to. I don't have too terribly many spells left, and these guys seem pretty soft and squishy. So, I'm going to. No, I'm going to take that back. I'm going to web the two crazy little green things that just tried to poison the crap out of me.
Okay, let's go ahead and roll initiative. And Kevin, it looks like you're in the apple barrel first, so why don't you go ahead and roll a d6?
Hey, at least it's not my character this time, so I might roll okay.
No, that's not possible.
It's a 2. Oh,
hey, but I only rolled a 1. Okay, so Doom's Durek moves into the room. Paul, I'm sorry, Gonzalo. Paul is right there. He can attack one of the goblins if he wants. So.
Well, I already rolled an attack roll way too early, and I got a 5. So
you got a 5. Okay, so well, yeah, that'll miss. He like jerks back, and he is he is grabbing up an implement, but he has moved to the far side of the room. Durek moves into the room. The cook moves and yanks the door open and yells at the top of his lung, "The mercenaries, Maglubiet, Fry, their souls are rioting again!" And he flees through the door to the north. So the goblins are not sticking around. They're running right after him. So let me see. So that is okay. All right, you guys. Y'all move into the room or whatever. He splits out the door. He's screaming bloody murder. So next round. Kevin, what is what is Holder doing?
Well, I cannot chant, right, because we're in combat. Or is that not limited?
I mean, you can start the chant.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to do.
All right, so you're casting chant. Oh, that's very neat, John D. That's extremely cool. The Lost Crypt, the section of the module that I wrote for Teeth of the Barkishnor with Gary Gygax, or one of the sections of that module that is the only piece of it that I think you'll ever be able to own, is now available as a Fantasy Grounds module. That's neat.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I didn't know anybody was actually working on it. As I understand, that is a fairly difficult piece of software to develop for. So thanks. All right. Gonzalo, how about Paul?
So who's left in stabbing range?
Do you want to stab anyone in your party?
No.
Then nobody.
I mean, no.
you will have to close and destroy.
Okay, so I'm going to. I mean, they're just going to raise the whole place against this. So it's run or give chase. I'm at least going to go over to. They went through the door on the other side of the room, right?
Yes, I have not moved the miniatures yet.
Is it possible for me to web all 3 of them?
Hang on a second, and we will see. Hold on, Tim.
Yes, let's do that before I get in the way.
Yeah, I don't want to web you accidentally. Let's not do that.
You want to do it on purpose.
Exactly.
All right. And Dooms, how about Durek? What is he doing?
My idea is to give chase, but I'd like to see what unfolds.
All right, you're going to pursue.
There's no way in hell these guys get down this passageway.
Let me get things set up here. Hang on a second.
Well, that went as planned, I guess.
Goes as good as it ever does.
Spellcaster wanted to open a door, so
we were trying to kill slavers. And there weren't any in the hall.
Well, that's not a problem now.
That is
I
true.
think they're all going to be in the hall.
But technically, I wasn't even the one that opened the door, so I don't know that you could say this is my fault.
Yeah, it's your fault. Yeah, no, I can say it. Yeah.
All right.
We're not, blaming you. We're just attributing blame to you.
I guess I'm okay with that.
Yeah, the attribution of blame.
That's right.
You gotta love that.
I'm having a pretty good day, so I really don't care.
Congrats.
Yeah, I might be moving down to you guys' neck of the way in Florida someplace.
that's pretty close. So
My area really sucks unless you're really cool.
and there's only one possible person that could be cool in that area, so you got a challenge there, Tim.
There you go.
No, the area. Yeah, I'll be around. I'll be in the Orlando area somewhere. So
the old 14th level druid or whatever.
have to change from Buc-ee's to Wawa.
We had a question. Whoops, wrong question. William, the DM, asked, "Didn't Paul get an attack in the surprise segment?" Yes, he did, and he missed. All right,
Swing and a miss.
Swing on and a miss. Let me see if I can get this up on the screen and stop knocking my big jug of water over. Let's see. Oh, that is a good view there. So they have fled through this door and are just about to open that door. Doom's Dirk has moved here. Paul was already in the room. Tim, you are lined up, and you can web them in this round if you guys win initiative. So, Tim, does Elminar wish to cast web in this round?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. And so you have a chant spell being cast right now. Oh, I'm disappearing behind my own name tag there. There we go. You have a chant spell going on from Holder, and you have Paul. You're rushing in after them.
I'm aware that he's getting ready to cast a web spell, so I'm not going to do anything to get in the way of that. So if he can get it off, I'm going to let him. And can I ask a quick rules question?
Yes, absolutely.
So won't the web spell get cast at them no matter what, even if we lose initiative? Because magic spells will go before them moving.
It depends on how many segments the spell takes to cast.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It depends on how many segments the spell takes to cast. Web, I think, is 3 segments, but if somebody wants to check me out on that, that is certainly a cromulent thing that you can do.
It's 2 segments. Right? Web's 2 segments?
I honestly don't know.
I'm looking at the book. So
thanks for answering.
I'm cheating.
The book says 2, sir.
All right, 2 segments. Okay. So your spell will start going on their initiative. So if they roll a 1, your spell will go on segment 3. If they roll a 6, your spell will go on segment 8 and likely not get them.
I'm sorry. Like I said, I don't want to interfere with that, so I'm gonna wait if I can until at least I know if that spell's gonna go off.
Okay. All right. And this room that you are seeing right now, just so you guys are have an idea of what you're looking at. This looks like one half of a large dining room. There are long tables with rows of benches set on either side. And across at the far end of this room, I shouldn't have a door there, by the way. That's my mistake. So they are bolting. They have already bolted through it, but you can still see them, and they are still in the range of web because they did have to go around the table. So Tim, you can still web them. I should not have had the door there, but this is a large, empty mess hall type area that has kind of a partition-y part in the middle there. So please allow me to remedy that and the camera view so you guys have a better idea of what you're looking at.
So why are you moving?
It's a big, long career thing based on I spent a lot of time working in the startup space and sort of sold off everything I was involved in and sort of retired for about a week and a half, and my kids were getting annoyed at me getting in their lives too much. So I have teenage kids. And was offered a position there with a company who's going to let me kind of travel back and forth as needed. So because I have split custody with my ex-wife, that with them half the time and not half the time, I can just be in Florida half the time and Texas half the time.
Gotcha. Oh, that sounds like a good thing.
I've done weirder things for a living.
Yeah, like all those people hitting on you that you don't want to have hit on you. That's really weird. Just to avoid being banned, I'm not going to say the word out loud.
You know, it's the other thing I found interesting is in Florida, when you call a real estate agent and say, I'm looking to buy a house, they all go, please tell me you're not joking. Because apparently nobody's buying anything there right now.
I mean, I think, you know, Florida is a place that I've thought about retiring to, possibly, and you know,
that's basically what this is I found a job that to me is more like retirement than work. But you know, I'm not married. My kids are all teenagers, you know, trending towards college and being
Yep.
you know, incredibly single. What the hell else am I going to do? Besides, go get a fun job.
Our plan is to, wherever we go, rent for a year first, just to make sure we made a good choice about wherever we wind up, and then decide if we want to buy. But you know, if you have reasonable means, renting a small place when you're older can be good if it's a nice place, because there's a lot of stuff you don't want to do yourself.
That's true. But I'm sort of rough on things, so it's easier for me to own it.
Okay, so that is what you guys see when you're going down the room. Let's roll initiative. And next up is Tim. Tim, roll a d6, please.
6.
6. Very, very, very important. Paul says, use a ring of shooting stars to cast fairy fire on the strongest opponent. Paul's out there super chatting, and I really, really appreciate that, Paul. You are helping keep the lights on.
Paul, I thought about that, but then I thought, Webb, I can capture all 3 of them, maybe, and keep them all still.
Okay.
Right.
All right. I guess it's my turn, isn't it? Let's see. D6. Here we go. I got a 3. Okay, so
Neener.
Your spell goes on segment 5. The fighters are waiting. This fellow is going to, we're going to do this. He is going to open the door. He does not, no, he does not open the door. That is first segment. Second segment. He wrenches the door open. So that's 2 segments. And he does move a little bit. Let's see. Hang on.
I'm going to have to get some education in how the segments work, because I'm completely lost around that.
Yeah, so there's, you know, each round is basically 6 segments. It can extend up to 10 segments. Right? So just think a segment is the smallest slice of time you can act in. Right? So, I mean, if you're doing full-on segments, usually you just count them out, right? So if somebody's attacking, you'd look at the speed factor in their weapon, and then their initiative. I mean, there's a lot to it if you're going to go through that. It's rewarding if you do, but
okay,
it matters more in spells because of the casting time,
Right.
right?
In 5 segments, he can move 6 feet, which just gets him into the door when web goes off. So I need to make 3 saving throws because you are Spider-Manning the goblins and the big fat cook guy, who really all he did was offer you guys a hot meal, and all you have done is acted with hostility. I hope you know that this will go down on your permanent record. The 2 black D20s are for the goblins. The purple D20 is for the human. I see sweet FA. None of them save. They are all webbed. They are still screaming bloody murder, however. So, first and foremost, let's see.
Okay, people, with swords, let's go casually stab those people to death.
That was the plan. As soon as I
Okay. All right, so you guys can spend this round closing up. They are basically immobile, so you will automatically hit them for double damage. Those of you who close in, you kill the goblins, and it takes a couple of blows, but the chaotic neutral cook is dead also. Oh, did I state what his alignment was? Because you guys didn't bother asking? Yep, he's dead.
I'm sorry. Do we typically ask people what their alignment is before we?
Apparently not.
It's considered exceptionally rude. Just so you know. And that's canon.
It's much worse than asking a woman
any
her
ruder
age.
than stabbing them to death, or is that...
Yes. Yes,
much
it is.
more rude. Yes. So much so that Gary himself said, "This is not to be done ever."
This is not to be done ever. I watched a YouTube video about D&D horror stories, and the person who wrote the story, who submitted it to the reader on YouTube, kept saying, "My DM killed some players." The RPG horror story was not that. It was just like the players behaved stupidly. The DM lost his temper and stopped rolling dice, which is what DMs should do. But he kept saying, "My DM killed players. My DM killed players." So the guy reading it was like, "What kind of DM is this?" All right.
Did you call the cops?
So yeah, they are all dead. Vince, that is not an acceptable reason to ever be late to my streams to run a bolt-on 5e game. You will be super chatting in penance for that. I'm kidding, Vince. I'm kidding. But anyway, so Paul Ravenscall says his cooking sealed his fate. You cook chaotic neutrally, you die chaotic neutrally. So yes, they're all dead. The webs are still up. They're hanging in them. Nothing has reacted to their screams for help. So
Oh.
So we wound up basically going through a lot of the rooms that we didn't bother opening the doors to anyways.
At least this run of rooms.
Yeah.
You guys killed D&D Barth from You Can't Do That on Television. I hope you're happy with yourselves.
I'm very, actually. I'm very happy with that.
I was really more of an Adventures of Pete and Pete guy.
Fair enough.
Older at that time. I mean, I guess we might as well check out some of these other doors then, do we want to look through this area? Is there anything remarkable about this room?
This is a large dining hall. There are tables and benches.
Yeah, there's nothing in here.
The tables are stained and dried remains of food cover their tops. The tables and benches are worn and beat up. There is nothing of value here.
I mean, we've looped back around. Let's start checking doors now, since we've gone down that path.
Well, we should check the corpses, right?
Okay. What for?
Maybe they have the antidote for what Elminar drank.
Yeah. So Elminar, it's been let me see. There was a surprise segments. There was all of this, which was a couple of rounds. Yeah, You're on shaky ground right now. You
poop.
do not feel well. You are not going to be able to be quiet, and if pushed into melee, you will suffer some penalties. But I mean, if pushed into melee, you'd be suffering penalties anyway, right?
Exactly.
All right, so that is where you find yourselves in the dungeon. You have dispensed with a cook and a couple of his goblin assistants, and now you have many, many doors to open. Gentlemen, before we adjourn for this Tuesday evening, is there anything you wish to do?
Holder's going to keep chanting.
Okay.
We still got a while before it's up, right? It's a turn, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you guys
We'll
are
just
under.
quickly search the room and the bodies. Just give it a cursory search.
Yeah. Tim, are you going to drop the web or leave it up or burn it away or what?
I think we should burn it away just to not let them know that a magic user was here.
All right. Yeah. I mean, that's it. You can like grab a taper off of the table and light it from one of the guttering torches and whoosh. So yeah, they're burned up. The only thing of note is the cook had a rather wicked looking cleaver, which if you want will function as a hand axe for purposes of damage and throwing.
I have no interest in that, but what I will say is I'm going to toss that. I'm going to use I'm not going to touch it with my hand, but I'm going to use a weapon or something to knock that evil-looking idol into the brazier at some point while we're in here, just as a message.
Okay, yeah, you'll have to go all the way back down to what was clearly the chambers of some kind of evil priest or witch doctor, and do so. But you can absolutely do that. And that is where we will leave it this week. Listen, I want to thank all of my players for being here. Most of them you can meet up with again this coming Friday when I try to irradiate, mutate, and eliminate all of them in our ongoing Gamma World game. And Gonzalo will be back next Tuesday. So thank you again, players. It was wonderful to have you all here.
Thanks, Bill.
Tim, I hope Elminar is packing some Rolaids. But until then, everybody, it has been an absolute joy to have you guys. Thank you, Gonzalo, for the super. Thank you, Paul Ravenscall, for the super. Thank you all for being here tonight. It was an exceptional amount of fun. And until then, guys, be good and don't eat anything that an owl bear would cook for you. Peace. Good night. I love you all.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle way off course? Naked as a toad all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.